Hello, this is Lorenzo from EventSmart, and in this video, I'll show you how to set up a church service registration with EventSmart. If you're planning an event like a worship service, Sunday service, or a mass, then this video is for you. Right now, we are viewing the event editor. What I'll do next is paste in some details about an event that we're going to set up together. So for this example, we are looking at a service registration, and it has two dates and times. So it takes place on August 2nd, 9 a.m. till 10 a.m. Then later in the day, there is another service from 11 a.m. till 12 p.m. And then we have matching registration options. So we have a registration option for that 9 a.m. service, and then we also have one for that 11 a.m. service. So those are the details that we'll be working with. The next step is to add in a title for this event. So I'll click on that title area at the top, and then I can enter in some details. So let's say Sunday, August 2nd services. Okay, so I've just set a title. Next, I'll scroll down until the date, times, and tickets area are visible. So let's go with setting up the first date and time. So that's August 2nd from 9 a.m. till 10 a.m. What I'll do is I'll come down to this event start area here and click on it. Then I'll choose the correct date and then click and hold the slider and drag it to get the correct time. So August 2nd at 9 a.m. Then I'll click on done. Now we need to set that event end time. So again, I'll click on that date, choose the correct date, and then use that slider and move it back up until 10 a.m. Then I'll click on done. So we've just set up that first event date and time. Now it's time to set up that second one, which starts at 11 a.m. and wraps at 12 p.m. To save a little bit of time, what you can do is use this duplicate option here to create a copy of this option. So let me show you what that looks like. I'm going to hover and click on it, and as you can see, it has created a copy. And I'm doing this to get a jump start on setting up that second option. So what I'll do is click on Event Start here, use that slider, move it till 11 a.m., then click on Done, and EventSmart has automatically bumped that hour correctly. Now we can add a little bit of details to give clarity to these. So what I mean by that is to say 9 a.m. service, and then for that second one we can enter in 11 a.m. service. Okay, so we've just set up both of those dates and times. Now it's time to move on to the registration options. So what I'll do is I'll rename this free ticket here, and I'll type in 9 a.m. service. For the sale start date, that is just the date that you would like registrations to open. We're going to leave that as is and take a look at the sell until date and time. The sell until date and time just means this is the date and time that you want EventSmart to keep accepting registrations until. So for our service, let's say that we want to close out registrations 1 hour before. In that case, that will be 8 a.m. because our first service begins at 9 a.m. So I've set August 2nd, 8 a.m., and I'll click on Done. There are no fees or costs for our guests or members to attend, so we'll leave that price as 0. However, we do want to update the quantity so that we can maintain a safe number of guests. So let's say we want to change that from 75 to 50. We'll set that to 50. So we've just set up a registration option for that 9 a.m. service. Now it's time to take care of that 11 a.m. service. To save a little bit of time, I will again use that duplicate option here. So I'll click on it, and that just creates a copy, and then that way I can just update the details that I need to. So I'll update that title from 11 a.m., or I should say 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. We're going to leave the remaining details as is, and now what we need to do next is to adjust the access so that when someone registers for a service, they are actually booked for the correct service. Let me show you what I mean by that. I'm going to come up here to the event date times, and there is a gear icon here. I'm going to click on that first one, and that expands to show the tickets or registration options that are connected to this 9 a.m. service. So as you can see, the 9 a.m. service is connected to the 9 a.m. service, which is correct, but it's also connected to the 11 a.m. service. So we want to disconnect it from that 11 a.m. service. To do that, just remove that check mark and then click on close. And then we want to do the equivalent for that 11 a.m. service. So again, go to that gear icon for the correct service, click on it, and we want to disconnect that 9 a.m. service, and then click on close. In this way, when guests and attendees start registering, when they actually register for a 9 a.m. service, they'll actually be booked onto that service and not necessarily all of the services that you may be offering. Hope that makes sense. All right, so we've set up our dates as well as our matching registration options. Now what I'll do is I'll scroll up, click on that Save Draft button up here. And then what I will do next is open up this link in a new tab and then follow that link so we could check out this example event together. So let me go follow that link. And here is our event that we set up. So again, this is an example of how to set up church service registration. And in this example, we went with 2 services. If your church offers even more services, you can use the exact same approach to set up additional services. Just remember to double check the access. And if your church just offers, at this time, maybe 1 service a day, then you can also use EventSmart for that as well. Okay? So what I'll do next is go back to the event editor. And from here, I have a couple more recommendations so we can wrap. What I will do at this point is come down, and I recommend setting a venue, and your venue will basically be your church location or wherever you are hosting this service. Then, of course, come back to the top here and add in specific details about your organization and the service, and then click on Publish. Once you do that, then your guests and attendees will be able to register for your church services. So that's an overview of how you can set up church service registration using EventSmart. I hope you found this video helpful. Thank you.